clownery. Well, hello peoples of the internet, my name is Kevin and welcome back to another video. Okay guys, so I did not expect to keep doing so many Stephenie Meyer videos, but alas, here we are. And there is one book that has been published and is out there in the world that I still have to read. Also, I do have to still read The Chemist by Stephenie Meyer, but I don't think I'm going to ever read that. It's just not a book that interests me. I don't really want to read it, so I know a couple of you guys have asked me to, but I really just don't want to read it, so I'm sorry about that. But anyways, the book we are talking about here that is in question is Life and Death, Twilight Reimagined, the 10th Anniversary Edition. Look at her. She is pretty. Like, we've upgraded to a green apple. It's not a red apple, it's a green apple. We love that. But if you don't know, this is basically, I think, Twilight, the first book again, except it's just gender swapped. So like anyone who was a boy is now a girl in this one. Except for the parents. I'm pretty sure Renee and Charlie are still Renee and Charlie. But I'm pretty sure like Edward is not Edward anymore. He's Edith. And Bella's not Bella anymore, she's Beau. And my question is Beau going to be a bro? Because it rhymes, so like, it just sounds like Beau could be a bro. Also, it's starting to really rain outside, so I'm already in forks. We love that for me. But anyways, once I finished reading the Twilight books, everyone kept saying to me, Kevin, are you going to read the gender swapped version? And I'm not going to lie to you, when I heard about this book and I knew about it, I was just like, hold on.
Wait a damn minute.
Is this just not Twilight again, except everyone's just a different gender? Like, is that not what this book is? So I was like, is everyone trying to just make me read it again and go through that experience again? I have heard there are some differences in here and apparently the ending is supposed to be different. So I am looking forward to seeing what changes have been made. Also, it's been 10 years, so maybe Stephenie Meyer has understood what parts were problematic and maybe she has changed them. I'm just really hoping that she took out the albino parts that were in here because I was not a fan of that in the first book, Twilight. So really hoping that when she came back to it 10 years later, she decided to take that out. So let's see if that happened. And then also I've heard that this book was published because a lot of people used to keep saying, would the story have been the same if Bella was a boy or something like that? Like, a lot of people said that to Stephenie Meyer, and then she wrote this one to like show the story would have been the same regardless of if it was a boy or a girl. I think, I could be wrong in saying that, but I'm pretty sure that's what made her write this book. But yeah, I will see how this is going to go. Will I like this more than Twilight? Will there be changes that I feel like were necessary? Who knows? Is it going to be the exact same and like I'm just going to be like, why am I reading this? I'm just reliving the same thing again. Also, the cover. We always do cover analysis. So it's basically just the apple again, which since I did my first Twilight video, everyone told me that the cover represented the forbidden fruit because Bella is the forbidden fruit or Edward's the forbidden fruit or something like that. So I'm assuming that's what this represents again, except it's just a green apple. Maybe the green and red represents boy and girl for gender, even though I don't think color should be gendered or something, but I feel like that's probably what this means, but I could be wrong in saying that. But anyways, it is time to go read her. She's also a flimsy paperback, which makes me very happy because I just love a flimsy paperback so much. We're gonna see how it goes. I'm interested to meet Beau and Edith, and I don't know what Jacob is. What's Jacob? Oh my god. Oh, it doesn't say. Oh my god, his name is Beaufort. Okay, we love that. Beaufort and Edith. What is going to be their ship name? Beedith. Beedith is the only one I can think of. But anyways, here we go. It's time to go read and hopefully we're not going to regret my life decisions. Okay guys, so I'm about to start reading it and I just know when I start reading this, it's just going to be the same as Twilight. And I'm going to really regret doing this. Like, why am I doing it? Like, I honestly don't know. There is a foreword at the beginning and I think it's so funny because literally, the very beginning, hello lovely reader, again happy anniversary and welcome to the new 10th anniversary bonus material. First things first, I'm so sorry. The fact Stephenie Meyer is already apologizing to me. She just knows that I'm about to read something that is just a waste of my time. Ooh, interesting. So basically she's saying like why she's apologizing is because this is not an entirely new book and also it's not Midnight Sun. So if you don't know, Midnight Sun is supposed to be the version of Twilight written through Edward's POV, and that never happened. I believe she wrote a couple of chapters and then put them on her website, because a lot of you guys told me that in the comments, and people really wanted that to be published and become like a full-on book, and it just has never happened, and fans have been really wanting it. The interesting thing about that is because I literally just saw like a few minutes ago that Stephenie Meyer has a countdown on her website, and a lot of my friends on Twitter and everything are kind of freaking out about it because it's a countdown to something. Like, what is she counting down to? Is it a new book? Everyone thinks it could be Midnight Sun. Finally, she's gonna release it. Or it could be a sequel to The Host. And you guys know, if you saw my reading The Host video, I will be very much here for it if it's a sequel to The Host. Like, I will be very excited for that. But then also, like I said, I want Life and Death to be like one of the last books I read from Stephenie Meyer, because I kind of want to finish this series that I've done on my channel, because I have another series I'm ready to start for my next one, and I'm very excited to get to that, and I really just want to get to it. I kind of want this to be like the last of the Stephenie Meyer books that I do, but if it's a sequel to The Host, you know I will be reading that when it comes out. And if it ends up being Midnight Sun, I'm not going to say that I won't read it, because I probably will. Like, let's be honest, I probably will read it. But anyways, I just wanted to mention that because, like, she literally said that she's sorry that it's not Midnight Sun. So I'm like, is that what we're getting on her announcement? I think it comes on Sunday, or it might already be out by the time this video goes up, or it might be coming out shortly. I don't know when I'm posting this video, but it could be already out already. Yeah, I just find that really interesting. I just wanted to talk about that because I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys know this information, and we're all looking to see what this announcement is going to be. Okay, so actually what I said earlier is coming up, because it's basically saying, you know, Bella has always gotten a lot of censure for getting rescued on multiple occasions, and people have complained about her being a typical damsel in distress. My answer to that has always been that Bella is a human in distress, a normal human being surrounded by all sides of people who are basically superheroes and supervillains. She's also been criticized for being too consumed with her love interest, as if that's somehow just a girl thing. Okay, so I did criticize that she was so consumed with her love interest, but I never associated that with just being a girl thing, because I know for a fact if I ever found a man, I might be very consumed, because I've been single for so long. So like, it's definitely not just a girl thing. So I honestly have never seen that. Like, I never thought that, in my opinion, I've never thought, oh, if this was a boy, like, Bella wouldn't act this way. That's not ever how I read the Twilight books. I never had that mindset in my head, so it's very interesting that other people thought that. Okay, so I've read her introduction that she wrote, like the letter introduction, and I'm gonna read the preface and then start with chapter 1. And I just feel like I'm going to have severe deja vu. Don't cry, don't cry, don't cry.
Don't cry, 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 don't cry.
It's gonna be the exact same. Why am I doing this? I've only read 2 pages, but it's literally already the big dramatic part about not wanting to go to Forks to stay with his dad, and it's like the big dramatic moment with the mother going, you don't have to do this. It's just all the same. Why? So Jacob's dad is now not Billy anymore, it's Bonnie, which I love. We love Bonnie. It just reminds me of the Vampire Diaries, but even though I still, as I've said, have not continued watching the Vampire Diaries, I've only watched the first season, but it just reminds me of Bonnie, and I love Bonnie. But I want to know what Jacob's name is. Okay, so there's one thing that's still similar to Twilight, and that is describing someone with skin problems. So if you guys remember in my Twilight video, basically Eric, or was it Eric or Mike? I think it was... I can't remember. Eric and Mike are the same person to me. It was one of them came up to Bella and like introduced himself, and he was like, she described him as having skin problems. Well, that same moment has just happened, and it says, when the bell rang, a pale, skinny girl with skin problems and hair black as an oil slick leaned across the aisle to talk to me. So clearly we still have describing people as having skin problems. Her name is Erica. Stephenie Meyer was really like, okay, how could I change Eric to a girl? Let's stick an A. Erica. Wow. Like, honestly, I kind of live for it because, like, it's just so simple. Like, how easy was it to just change the names like that? Like, honestly, kind of iconic. We love it.
A few moments later.
No, guys, no. The albino reference is still there. How in 10 years after you wrote Twilight did you not realize that that was problematic? And you're like, I should probably take that out. No, Stephenie Meyer was like, I stand by what I say. Okay guys, so I finished the first chapter and it was very similar to the first chapter of Twilight, but I just want to give you guys a little rundown as to everyone's new names because I am obsessed. This thing is so funny. So I've already talked about Eric and how Eric is now Erica. We also know obviously that Bella is now Bo. Mike is now Michaela. Angela is Alan. Jessica is... what's Jessica? Jeremy. Jessica is now Jeremy. And for everyone in the Cullen family, they are Edith and Eleanor Cullen. So Edith is obviously Edward. Eleanor is Emmett. We have Jessamine and Royal Hale. Jessamine is Jasper. And Royal, I'm assuming, is Rosalie. What a random name, Royal. That's honestly such an iconic name. Rosalie, see, everyone knew that Rosalie was a queen. When they gender swapped Rosalie, they were like, let's give the character the name it deserves. So they called it Royal. We stan. And then the final person we have left is Alice, who is now known as Archie. And that is all of the name changes. So like for Carlisle and Esme, I don't know what their names are yet. It just says like Dr. Cullen and her husband. So we don't know their names yet. And I also can't even like hesitate a guess as to what their names will be. Like Carlisle could work. Oh, Caroline. Carlisle might be Caroline. Esme, Enzo. Maybe Enzo could work. But yeah, that's basically where I am so far. I've read the first chapter. And I'm actually gonna go have my dinner and stuff and then I might read a bit later on, but for right now, it's very much the same as Twilight. I knew this was gonna happen. I wanna know what the ending is. Everyone keeps saying the ending is so much different to the original Twilight, so I want to know the ending. Okay guys, so it's much later in the evening and I'm now back just in bed and getting ready to go to sleep and stuff, but I am reading before I go brush my teeth and whatever. But basically, there is a part in the second chapter, I'm not far from where I last updated you on, but there are some references that have been thrown in here to like make it more modern and like with the current times, if that makes sense, because there's a part here where Bo is like going to his car and he's seeing all of the other Cullens because Edith is no longer there, like she's disappeared, just like in Twilight when Edward disappears because he has to go hunt. That's basically what's happened here. Edith's doing the same thing. But he's noticing all of the other members of the Cullen family. And he's basically saying how like the Eleanor is really hot. And he's saying that how he's noticing that Royal has his hand on Eleanor's hip or something. And like saying, oh, I don't know why he's doing that when he's like when she's such a tall girl. Like, does he feel insecure or something? But then he's like, not that she wasn't hot, she was super mega hot, but not approachable. Like not even The Rock would dare to whistle at her, if you know what I mean. I kind of love how like The Rock has been thrown in here, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I have a guilty pleasure for a movie that The Rock is in because I just always am so entertained by those movies. I don't know why, just a fun fact. I have a severe guilty pleasure to The Rock movies. They're just everything. I love them. But anyways, so they just casually threw that in there. And I kind of like that because it's like more modern as opposed to when Twilight was written. The Rock is so relevant now. Well, this was written in 2015, but like he still was relevant. Like he's still relevant right now. So like, I just love how it's like thrown in there. Okay, one of my favorite scenes is happening again. It's the pro phase, interphase, anaphase moment. I don't know why I find this scene so funny every single time, and also the fact I'm still realizing I'm just basically rereading the entire book. But anyways, here we are, it's happening, and I'm excited to read it again. It's such a funny, awkward scene to me, and like I just love the awkwardness, and like I know that's the intention, it's meant to be awkward, and that's why I love it so much, because it's just so funny. just love this scene. Oh, there is a change, people. So basically Edith looks at it first and says that it's prophase, and then like switches it over like to see if Bo wants to then check it. Then Bo says, oh no, I'm good. Like, that didn't happen in the original one. Bella had to take it and check for herself to prove that Edward was right. We have some change. Like, we kind of love to see that. Like, Bo was just like, you know what? Edith looks smart. I know she got this, so I'm gonna trust you. We love that. Like, they're already trusting each other so early into their relationship, and we kind of stand. Basically, Edith went and did all of the rest of them, and then the teacher came over and was like, Edith, how about we let Mr. Swan get a chance to learn? And so then Bo gets to actually look at the slide, and he says it's metaphase, and then Edith's like, can I check? The sass. I live for this. Like, the fact that like Bo said, no, you're fine, I trust that you're correct, but Edith was like, oh no, I don't trust you, like I'm checking for myself to make sure you're correct. Like, I already prefer this prophase section more than I did in the Twilight one. Like, there's so much more sass. Like, I just love to see that. Okay guys, so I'm now in bed and I'm still reading. I'm now up to page, where am I? 73 of the book, and something has just happened. I don't know if this happened in Twilight. It's so funny to me, and it's so stupid because like I'm already feeling the same way I feel about Bella with Bo. Like, they're both just so irritating at times because they're just trying to be so different and like quirky, and it's just annoying. They're talking about like the whole scene happened where basically Edward saves Bella from the car crushing her, except obviously it's Edith and Bo, but I'm probably going to keep saying Edward and Bella and just hope you know who I'm talking about. And they're having that confrontation, then Bo and Edith, and they're talking about how, oh, are we not friends? We shouldn't be friends and all this kind of stuff. And then it's like, oh, well, you shouldn't have saved me then. And it's like, oh, you think I regret saving you? And then Bo's like, so if it's not that, then what else? It seems kind of obvious that that's why you hate me. And then Edith says, you're an idiot. And then she goes, well, that was my limit. It was bad enough that I was so fixated on this girl, bad enough that I thought about her all the time, dreamed about her every night. I didn't need to sit here like the moron she thought I was and just stare while she insulted me. I grabbed my books and lurched out of my chair, knowing all the while that she was right. I was an idiot because I wanted to stay, even if all I got to hear was more abuse from her. I needed to get out of the room as fast as possible. So of course, I tripped over the threshold and half fell through the doorway, my books scattering across the sidewalk. I stood there for a second with my eyes closed, thinking about leaving them. Then I sighed and bent to pick them up. I just find it really funny. I was just like, she was right. I was an idiot. And then like he just drops his books, of course. Like, I don't know if that happened in Twilight. But yeah, I'm gonna keep reading, but nothing else has really changed. I still don't know if Carlisle is Caroline yet. Like, it has to be. Like, that is the perfect gender swap name, Caroline. Like, it just has to be. Okay, update again. We've got a really funny moment again. Honestly, I feel like Edith slaps harder than Edward. Like, honestly, I'm kind of standing Edith, like, from such an early stage. But basically, what is happening is Edith and Bo have been, like, talking in the school parking lot or whatever. And basically, Bo dropped his keys and then Edith picked them up. And then, like, Bo's just like, what do you want from me? And, like, Edith's like, nothing, I'm pretending you don't exist, remember? And blah, 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 blah. And then, so he says, I don't know what you want from me. And then Edith says, nothing. She said too quickly, almost like she was lying. And then Bo says, then you probably should have let the van take me out easier that way. And then Edith says, Bo, you are utterly absurd. And then Bo just kind of gets annoyed and like walks away kind of thing. And then she goes, wait, she said, but I forced myself to keep moving, not to look back. I'm sorry, that was rude. And then she says, I'm not saying it wasn't true, but it's rude to say it out loud. Not saying it wasn't rude, but it was rude to say her last. Why was that? Why do I always I find the stupidest things so funny? I don't remember if that was from like the OG Twilight or if that's something that was just added in, but like I didn't laugh at that before. I know I didn't because I do not remember that scene or that happening or even that sentence and like everything. Hey guys, so it is the next day and I actually got to page 111 last night. And we found out what Carlisle's name is, and I believe it's Kareen. It's Kareen is for Carlisle, and an Esme is Ernest. Kareen, it should have been Caroline. Like, Caroline, Carlisle, it just makes the most sense to me. Yeah, I'm gonna read a lot more of this today and make a lot more progress, but I just want to update because we found out what Caroline's, I'm gonna keep calling her Caroline. It just makes so much more sense than Kareen. Okay, I've just met Jacob and Jacob's name is Julie and she's been called Jules for short because like with Jacob she called him Jake, so Julie, Jules, it works, we love that. Okay guys, so I'm now up to page 194 and like the whole scene has happened where Beau basically nearly got shot in Port Angeles because in Twilight it's where like all these men show up on Bella and then Edward comes and saves her. But in this one, it's like Beau is about to get jumped because they think he's a cop and they're going to shoot him. And Edith just shows up and saves him and they go for dinner or whatever. But like, I don't know what I was expecting with this book, but I honestly feel like such a clown right now. Like, clownery. Why did I expect this book to be so much different or something? Like, I just expected more changes or something, but like it's literally the exact same book except that genders are just changed. Like, who is the clown for reading this expecting it to be different? Me. So anyways, I am now up to chapter 10, Interrogations, and I am this much through the book. I'm gonna keep reading. Basically, Beau knows that Edith is a vampire now. We know this, we've been through this already with Twilight. Like, nothing has changed and I am just rereading Twilight. Like, why am I putting myself through this again? Okay guys, so it's the next day and I'm not going to lie to you, I have skipped a lot of this book because I don't want to read Twilight again. Like, I didn't like the book enough to want to reread it all over again. So I literally texted one of my friends and I was like, okay, I'm reading Life and Death, I know you've read it, what are the differences? Like, where do I need to get to the differences? And they said it's mainly where James comes in at the ballet studio. From that point onwards is where the major changes are. So that's where I have basically just jumped to because I don't want to reread Twilight. Like, I really expected there to be a lot more differences, but there just wasn't. And like, I was like, Kevin, you're just reading Twilight again. Like, why are you doing this? So to save myself all of that, I just skipped. But I have gotten to the baseball scene and basically we have new name changes. So we have got Victor for Victoria, Joss for James, and Lauren for Lauren, which, I mean, very simple. Okay, so basically I have skipped to page 442 and it's where Beau is going into the ballet studio where Joss is going to be. And I have just that much of the book to read and this is apparently where the major differences are. So this is where I've gone to because I do not want to relive that whole Twilight again. So I'm going to read from here and give you all of my reactions to the changes that have happened. Okay, T. So, okay, now I'm very invested because there's actually differences. So basically, Beau has just been beat up to shit. Like, Joss went to town on him. He's just lying on the ground, very battered and bruised. And basically, they realized that Joss bit him. And they're trying to like fix him and stuff like that. But Archie, which is Alice, has said, we got here too late. And then Kareen says, you can see it. And then Archie says, there are only two futures left, Kareen. He survives as one of us or Edith kills him trying to stop it from happening. The fact that there's no other future that like Alice or Archie is seeing apart from him dying or becoming a vampire. So like, are they going to turn him into a vampire? that is tea. And Edith's just like saying, oh, I won't make this decision for you. I won't take this away from you. And I'll understand. I promise, Beau, if you don't want to live like this, I won't fight you. I'll respect what you want. I know it's a horrible choice. I would give you any other option if I could. I would die if I could give your life back to you. But I can't make that trade. I can't do anything except stop the pain. If that's what you want, you don't have to be this. I can let you go if that's what you need. It sounded like she was sobbing again. Tell me what you want, Beau, anything. And then Beau says, you. I spit through my teeth. Just you. Oh my god, so is Beau about to become a vampire? Yes! We love to see that, like, turn Bella into a vampire in the first book and save us all of the time. The literal next line of the next chapter. I ended up changing my mind. Just when I was getting excited, like, oh my god, he's gonna become a vampire, we love that. I ended up changing my mind. Beau and Bella both pissed me off regardless, so what have we learned? Nothing. Okay, so he clearly didn't change his mind, or maybe he did change his mind, but it was too late because they have turned him into a vampire. Yes! I'm living! Because they're like driving back to like Forks, I'm assuming, and like Edith and Archie are in the car. And it's like, Archie's like, oh, you could explain about being thirsty. That was the hardest part when I first woke up, and we'll be expecting a lot from him. He's already a vampire. Imagine if Twilight had it played out like this. Bella became a vampire from the start. Like, we wouldn't have had to go through that whole ordeal of 4 books of Bella just wanting this and then finally getting it in Breaking Dawn. Imagine we got it from the first book. Like, think of where we could have went with the story from there. Like, it would have been everything. Like, oh, I'm so happy right now. Okay, so like Edith is explaining the whole vampire system to Beau right now because Beau knows nothing. And it's interesting how it has been gender swapped in the Volturi because Marcus is still part of the Volturi, but Arrow got his gift taken away and then he was killed. Sulpicia, I'm pretty sure I said that name wrong, ends up being like the new Arrow because she has Arrow's gift because someone stole it and gave it to her. And then there is another person called Athenodora, who is also another member of the Volturi. So it's like 2 girls and then Marcus are now the main Volturi, which is so interesting that Marcus is still part of it all. Okay, so I've got to the epilogue and I'm on page 485, and basically they're having a funeral for Beau because obviously Beau is a vampire now. And it's not like how in original Twilight, how Bella was still able to talk to Charlie and stuff. And they kind of made up stuff so that Charlie could still see Bella. But in this one, that's not the case. They're having Beau have a funeral and as if he has died. So that is what is happening. And that's a bit sad, but because I feel bad for Charlie because you guys know I love Charlie so much. So I'm sad for that, but like, also, I'm just really happy that there's a difference and like this whole ending is completely different to original Twilight, which I love. Okay, so I have finished the book and I'm gonna read the afterword from Stephenie Meyer. But basically what happened is there was a funeral for Beau, and then when they got back home to the Cullens house, there was werewolves there for Sam, which is now Samantha. And Samantha was there with 2 other werewolves and they were giving out because they thought that the Cullens had now broken the treaty, but really Joss was the one that bit Beau. So like they didn't break the treaty because none of the Cullens were the ones to turn Beau. They didn't break the treaty. And then they had to like go to a meeting with Bonnie, which is Billy Black, and have like a meeting with him because he was like saying that the treaty is definitely broken. Bonnie is the chief, so like Bonnie was saying that the treaty was broken and blah 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 blah. Then Beau basically told the whole story about how the Cullens weren't the ones that bit him, and so that the treaty hadn't been broken because they didn't do it. Joss was the one that did it, and basically everything ended really happily. Beau just said to Bonnie, will you look after my father and stuff, because obviously he thinks Beau's dead. And then just to tell Jules or Jacob what happened in years to come when Jules finds out about everything and stuff like that. And then it just ended, and yeah, that's what happened. Basically, the whole conclusion with this one, in this version of Twilight, Bella gets turned into a vampire at the end of the book as opposed to OG Twilight. I like that ending a lot more, and I don't know why, but I just feel like getting Bella or Beau as a vampire in the first book just makes much more sense, and it just makes it more exciting to me, because I feel like if this had happened in Twilight, like I just feel like it could have been so much more exciting with how the story could have gone. And obviously, like, everyone has the attachment to OG Twilight. Like, younger Kevin loved OG Twilight when it was in the cinemas and stuff, and like I liked the storyline. But now when I'm thinking about it, if it had have started like this, I'm just so much more intrigued to see how the rest of the books could have played out. But also it could have ended up being just a standalone, but I'm interested to just see how the rest of the story could have worked if it had ended like this in the first book, if that makes sense. But yeah, I'm gonna read the afterword now and see what Stephenie Meyer has to say. Okay, so that was a very short afterword, and basically all she said was that she didn't want us to think that just because Beau was a boy, that's why he got turned into a vampire in the first book, or like because Bella was a girl, that's why she didn't get turned into a vampire in the first book. Like, she didn't want that to be our conclusion. Basically, what she wanted to say was that because in this one, near the end, Bella or Beau basically leave the airport a couple of minutes earlier than they do in OG Twilight. So if you guys remember, in Twilight, basically to get away from Alice and Jasper, Bella like tricks one of them to go to the bathroom with her, and she sneaks out of the bathroom to go meet James at the ballet studio. So that's basically what happened in here, except Beau does it and he leaves 5 minutes earlier than Bella did in OG Twilight. So that means that Beau got to the ballet studio 5 minutes earlier, and therefore there was a 5-minute delay between the Cullens getting there to rescue Beau, if that makes sense. So because they were 5 minutes too late, it was too late to stop him from becoming a vampire. And then it was just like saying that like Beau will be fine, more than fine, he'll be very happy, but he'll always have the one big regret. Bella was able to put her house in order and she's confident she got the best version of her story. But Beau did not get that, because Beau did not get to keep Charlie and keep that side of his life. But Bella did, because of the way her story panned out, is basically what she's saying. And yeah, that's basically it. So that is it for Life and Death, the Twilight Reimagined 10th Anniversary Edition by Stephenie Meyer. And also the last Stephenie Meyer book that I will be reading for a while, because it's time for me to start my next series that I want to do, and I'm so excited for that. But yeah, I would say that I did enjoy this one a bit more than original Twilight, because I do prefer the ending. Now obviously you guys know I did not read the entire thing, because as I said, I felt like I was just rereading Twilight, because there really isn't that much differences apart from everyone being a different gender, different names, and like basically the majority of the storyline is the exact same. But I do prefer the ending of this one compared to the original Twilight. So for that reason, I do think I'm going to give it another 0.5 stars. So if you guys remember, I gave original Twilight 2 out of 5 stars. So for this, I'm going to give this 2.5 out of 5 stars. Because to me, there are still just so many problematic issues. Also, just the romance is just still something that I don't really buy into, because it was still the same as Twilight. Like, I got to the part where basically Beau was like, one thing I knew for sure, I was so in love with Edith. Like, after like talking to her like 3 times, that was still an issue for me with this one as well. So 2.5 out of 5 stars, because the ending I did prefer a lot more than OG Twilight. But yeah, that is going to be it for this video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. Let me know down below if you have read this book and what you think about the new ending that has been written. Do you think that this ending is more enjoyable, or do you think it was a bad ending? Let me know, because I know I enjoyed it more, but maybe some of you guys will actually not prefer this ending. So let me know down below in the comments. And other than that, I shall see you all next time in my next video. So goodbye, guys.